Good day again, everyone. This is the continuation of my report on the eight step communication planning model under Lesson A, Social Marketing Different Models as Practiced by Development Organization under Module 4. So we paused the report at step 4. So now we will discuss the step number 5. So select channels, activities, and materials. So step 5 helps us basically to choose how we deliver our messages effectively. And it is crucial that when we select channels, activities, and materials, we need to think about what our audience trust, who can influence them, and how they prefer to get information. Then once we do that, we can consider, of course, our budget uh, considerations. So when we tackle the communication channels, basically, this is how we share our messages with our target audiences or segments. Um, Communication channels can be, like more personal, like talking to people directly, or perhaps we can use through media like TV, radio, newspapers, or even social media, and even public places like malls, parks, schools, libraries, and many others. Next, select activities and materials. So activities, events, and materials are tools rather that are used to communicate messages through channels. So examples of activities and events include Suicide Prevention Week, Mental Health Week, press con, news conference, even one-on-one meetings. While on the other hand, materials include examples of materials include presentations, PowerPoint presentations, uh, websites, public service announcement, fact sheets, press releases, and also many others. Then, once we select our channels, activities, and materials, we also need to identify the frequency and mix. So, what is frequency and mix? In marketing terms, the number of times that we see a product is called the frequency. And the ways we encounter those products, it is called mix. So basically, these principles are also applied to your program. So when we talk about frequency and mix, we mean how often and in what ways that we need to expose our audiences to our message. So, uh, by the end of this step, we need to continue think about all different ways, channels, activities, materials that can help effectively deliver our message to our intended audience. Step number 6, develop action plan. Step 6 focuses on developing, as I've said, an action plan to implement our communication strategy effectively. So, uh, depending on our specific needs, our action plan can range from simple to more complex. So, however, uh, at a minimum, it should include the following information. No, every developed action plan should have first a listing of major activities, task, and subtask. Second, the target date for completing each task, and of course, the person responsible for ensuring each task is completed. So, step 6, at the end of this step, we hope that we can realize that collaboration, no, when we develop our action plan, we hope we realize that collaboration and commitment from our partners, volunteers, workers, and even our champions are really crucial for making our action plan to be successful. Step 7, develop and pretest materials. Again, pretest. So step 7 emphasize the importance of developing and pre-testing materials before we finalize them, before we create many copies. No, so pre-testing allows us to identify flaws. So once we identify flaws, we will explore alternatives and fine tune our message and materials for better effectiveness. So when we develop a prototype, when we are developing our materials, rather, first we need to follow the four-step process. First, develop a prototype. So once we develop a prototype, we need to review and pre-test it. So from the review and pretest, we will revise and refine the message or the communication tools or materials, and only the final step will be producing the final materials. So that's the only time that we can, make a lot of copies, finalize this tool or these materials. So once we develop once we finish on doing this step, there are also several ways to pretest our message and materials. So we can do survey, focus group discussion, one-on-one interview, or even advisory boards. Last step, implement, evaluate, and modify plan. So step 8 involves continuous monitoring and adjustment of your communication plan to ensure its effectiveness and, of course, in achieving desired outcomes. So during this step, we need to follow this list of to-dos or principles. First, or the step. First, we need to check which messages connect with your audiences or with your audience and which ones don't. Once we do that, we need to figure out which channels, materials, or event activities and even partnership that really work well uh, or do not. Next, spot or identify any unexpected problem. So we also need to find out if there are new intended audiences that we have not recognized along the process. And last, create and implement new strategies for reaching out our goals and objectives. So to wrap up, let's recap the CRC's 8-step communication planning model. First, start with a thorough assessment of your current situation using the SWOT analysis. Next, set measurable communication goals that complements with our main goal or our program goals. Step 3, we need to define our intended audiences through segmenting and prioritizing. Step number 4, develop and pre-test our messages to those intended audience. And of course, step number 5, select the best way to deliver those messages. Step 6, create an action plan for delivering our message and materials. Step 7, uh, aims to develop and pre-test materials again that we wish to create. And last step is implement, evaluate, and modify our plan. So this concludes my presentation on the 8-step communication planning model from the Communication Resource Center or CRC. And we also have explored various models as applied by development organization. So for the reference that I have used, rather, I have included them on the slides. You can use it, and that ends my report. Thank you.